Hey everyone, welcome back to Transmath 2. Today we are working on lesson 9. We're going to talk about another way to represent part-to-whole relationships with objects. So we can use fractions to describe part-to-whole relationships for objects in a set. This jar or set of marbles contains 1 white marble and 7 blue marbles for a total of 8 marbles total. We can use a fraction to describe the part-to-whole relationship between the blue marbles and all the marbles in the jar. The whole in the relationship is 8 because there are 8 marbles total. And the part is 7 because there are 7 blue marbles. The fraction 7 over 8 describes the part-to-whole relationship between how many blue marbles there are versus how many total marbles there are in the jar completely. When we work with sets, you should be careful to identify the whole. In this model, each circle is a whole, so this model has 4 wholes total. We could put circles into 2 groups so that each group is 1 whole. This model shows 2 wholes. Or we could put all of the circles in 1 group so that there is 1 whole. Notice how we use rectangles to group the circles to define the whole. Let's look at a set model that represents a fraction. The entire rectangle of circles represents the whole. Because there are 4 circles, each circle represents 1 out of 4. Three unit fractions are shaded, so multiply the unit fraction by 3 to write the fraction 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 circles are shaded to represent the fraction 3/4. Let's look at another set model. Because there are 2 rectangles, there are 2 wholes. There are 3 circles in each rectangle, so each circle represents the unit fraction 1/3, 1 over 3. 5 of the unit fractions are shaded, so multiply the unit fraction by 5 to write the fraction 5/3. Notice that this fraction is greater than 1 because the first rectangle has 3 of the unit fractions shaded and represents 3 out of 3, or the whole thing. Okay, so for the second part of the lesson, we're going to talk about how we draw sets to represent fractions. Let's use this set as the whole to model some fractions. First, let's model the fraction 1/6. Before we draw any sets, we need to tell whether the fraction is proper or improper. One set is needed for a proper fraction or an improper fraction to equal 1. 2 or more sets are needed for an improper fraction greater than 1. First, we draw the sets. Because 1/6 is a proper fraction, we draw 1 set. Now we shade the circles. The numerator of 1/6 is 1, so we shade 1 circle. Now let's model the fraction 5/6. This is a proper fraction as well because it's smaller than 1, so we draw 1 set again. The numerator is a 5, so we shade 5 circles. Let's model 7/6. How many sets should we draw to model this fraction? Because 7/6 is an improper fraction, we need to draw more than 1 set. The numerator is 7, so we will shade 7 circles. How many sets will we need to have enough circles to shade? There are only 6 circles in 1 set, so we will need 2. Finally, we shade 7 circles. Remember that 7/6 can be written as 7 times 1 over 6. Let's model one more. 14 over 6, because 14 is an improper fraction, we'll draw more than 1 set. The numerator tells us that we will shade 14 circles total. There are 6 circles in each set. If we write 14 as 6 plus 6 plus 2, we can see that we will need 3 sets to model 14 out of 6, 14 sixths. We can shade 14 circles to complete the model. Remember that 14 over 6 can be written as 14 times 1/6. That's it for lesson 9. Tune into Schoology to view your homework assignment.